What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review for The Shot. This is season 2, episode 6. Bitch, a leg up, okay? Before I get the comments, the reason why the video was early, or I should say, early, because it's gonna be up as soon as the show go off. Is regular time. Thank y'all over there at Showtime and over there at the shop for putting this on the app. It was on the Showtime app, at 12 o'clock midnight or 11 o'clock in my time. Bitch, but let's just get into this episode because the episode was cute. It wasn't really that much drama. It really wasn't that much to it. But it was almost like a filler episode just a little bit. But it still was a good episode, okay? Listen, there was a couple of parts up in here I was sitting here like, no, okay? We had a couple of revelations in this episode. The episode, let's just go case by case. The kids, okay? The kids are so freaking hilarious. A Papa, he starts the episode off. They doing the standardized testing. He's getting up. He's sharpening his pencils. He's looking at the Shed Aquarium fundraiser board. He's looking at the TV. He's plotting. He's thinking. He's doing all this stuff. He don't have time to finish his test. The pencil break. And at this point, everybody is just over it, and Papa, he needs to get this tape. Okay, did you hear when that fucking girl came up to him and said, Papa, how does it feel to be third place? If you weren't eating all your candy bars, you would. I said, bitch. He said, shut up, 4 eyes. I said, you know what? These kids got their goddamn nerves. That's how it used to be up in school. Y'all know it. But anyway, you got the whole thing going on with the standardized tests and Papa using the excuse, talk about some, it's culturally biased and all this stuff. Yeah, he ain't lying. But Papa comes through with an excuse, a reasoning for every fucking thing that goes wrong with him or for a reason for him not to do something. Moving on. So they're in the lunchroom and they're talking, and next thing you know, the teacher comes down with I guess the principal or whoever, and they're talking about how the standardized test got on the test and the answers got put on online. And at this point they called Jake to come down there to the teacher's office, and they said when Miss Ward come down there, she only come down there when it's something bad or some shit like that. They was coming at Jake's throat, talking about something he the one that did it. You was in my office yesterday for 15 minutes by yourself, so you had to be the one that did it and all that stuff. He said, so just because I was in the office, you want me to say that I did it? Now, if I did it, why don't you just show me the proof? That's what it is. And you know what? Y'all ain't finna get me to say I did it. You want a confession? All right, I'm gonna give you a confession when I get my lawyer. I watched the first 48. I said, you know what? TV should be coming in handy. Even if that shit be lying. But I said, boy, if you don't get out of here. But he stood his ground. So Kevin and him get into a little tiff because, he kind of accused him. Not necessarily accused him of stealing the test, but basically saying I can understand why they would assume that you did it because of implying his association with his brother and all this stuff. So that got Jake hot, and you always hating on Reg and all this stuff. And then Papa later on tell him that it was the Wild Boys, Corey, the one that they always get into it with. He was the one, you know. Hold on a second. People are so stupid. Anyway, it was the Wild Boys, the one that always getting into it with him and all that stuff. And so at this point, Kevin was like, man, Papa, why you ain't tell me earlier? So he go over there to Jake house, and they talk, make up or whatever. He over there smoking some weed and shit, and he was making me so mad. Jake was making me so mad because he took that. I said, bitch, what the fuck is it? I said, what the? You a kid. I gotta remember that he's a kid. Okay, he inexperienced the shit. Bitch, it was just irritating me the way he puffed. I said, no, you don't puff. And then just, I said, no, what effect are you getting? You're wasting it. Okay? Anyway, moving on from that. And, I hate when people put other shit on my stuff. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Let me turn that off. Okay, anyway, so they get that done. But what was moved for me this whole episode, bitch, I got bags under my eyes. I am tired. It's after 12 o'clock. What was moved for me this whole episode, bitch? Myesha, okay? Myesha is that girl, bitch. She is letting y'all know. Fuck that hoe. Fuck that bitch. I'm that bitch, girl. I said, you know what? Myesha been feeling herself ever since such a day. You know, I told you they dating. They dating, all right? And they didn't necessarily put a title on that shit, but it's implied, you know. So she comes through. She was like talking to Kevin when they was on the testing and shit, Papa and them trying to make fun of her. Kind of implied that they, you know, like liking each other and all that stuff. Jake too, you know. Of course, Kevin trying to say, I don't like her, you know, y'all doing this, and she was like, they some dummies and shit like that. But how you feel about that test? I mean, I don't know. I did whatever. He was like, how you feel about it? I slayed it. I said, girl, yes, you better put that like that. Myesha been going through her struggle, but Myesha been keeping them grades up and everything, you know. And so at this point, she was like, she finna have a birthday party, and he was like, I can't come through because I can't go out on school nights and stuff like that. And he was like, what? Sucks to be you and all this shit, but if you do come, you better give me a present, and you better do this and you better do that. So he do eventually show up, and she was getting it in with her girls and everything. I said, come through, Myesha. All right, you know. And then at this point, he just looking Kevin like a little bit mesmerized by her, like she commands attention without trying to get the attention. Like I said, I like her spirit, bitch, you know. And at this point, little Kev give her little gift or whatever and kisses her. And he was like, I was gonna lick you on the face, but you know, I felt this would be better. I said, lick. Oh, y'all nasty. These little kids. She was like, yeah, that's better. I said, oh, his first kiss. Could be. You know, I'm just put it like that. They probably was first kiss or whatever. But it was really cute. She went over there, showed them the little necklace that he made for her, the solar system and shit. I said, oh, her little project that she did was the solar system. Got her little necklace. That was so cute. Details, bitch. You gotta pay attention. Kevin, you starting off on the right foot because you listening and you looking. Okay, you observing, bitch. All right. I like that. Moving on from that, this whole thing with Brandon, okay? Brandon, he got to the aftertaste. You know, we're gonna do Jerrica and Brandon together. Jerrica is having issues with the protesters. Miss Brown, she's at home at her own condo, and they outside her condo, bitch. She out here like, I'm finna call the police on these motherfuckers. This why I don't like dealing with these peoples. She irks me. Oh, she makes my blood boil every time I hear her say these people. Because that's what other people say about us black folks. Whether we from the hood, as to say, urban, you know, sophisticated or whatever. We're just them people or those people, you know, in place of saying them niggers, okay? That's what it is. And so she just pissed off or whatever and was like, I understand they have the right to assemble, but bitch, you in front of my house. How did they get my address? Jerrica go out there talking to the pastor, you know, and basically said, first of all, Pastor, you can be up here acting like you didn't send these people out here, because he was acting like he was trying to calm the stuff down. She was like, you can play them, but bitch, you ain't gonna play me, okay? But what you ain't gonna do, you gonna get these people up off of here, okay? That's what you gonna do. But you not gonna fuck around with me. I said, oh, look, Jerrica, you know, we bossing up a little bit. And she was like, what you need to get the fuck up out of here? Well, I heard about this commission that you getting from all this stuff. Give me 50K because we need this down at the church and all this shit. She said 20, and that's it. He said make it 30. She was like, all right, bitch, we gonna do this shit. I said, Paul. Put that on pause. You mean to tell me, maybe because Brandon headstrong, but you sitting on all this money or about to be sitting on all this money, you ain't tell your man and he out here struggling with this goddamn food truck? Oh, okay. And I said, you got it like that? All right, that commission check gonna be good. Meanwhile, Brandon out here, you know, he trying to do the aftertaste, and he's the 10th part of the 10th semifinalists, okay? They're about to do the little competition to get to the three finalists. And at this point, he's all giddy, he's all ready. He he got the shit in the bag. Next thing you know, Dan Matthews pop up. Who is Dan Matthews? His ex-boss. at the old restaurant that he was working with in last season. The girl, the wife that he fucked, him. Okay, so dude let it be known that he ain't forgot about that shit, and he got it in for him. One of the dudes come over there to him and was like, thank you for catering my wedding or whatever event that he had. Everything was perfect, and he wound up being a judge, and then he wound up being a shoe-in to go to the next round. Even though Brandon was called first, and then Jeanette, and then Dan was the last of the three. And Brandon peeped it and was like, "You got this shit rigged and all this stuff," but I ain't gonna say nothing just yet. He went over there. He was talking to Jerrica about it. Then they talking about how, her friend finna come over. They friends coming over. Well, Jerrica's friends coming over for a little dinner party or whatever. And it's this one girl they call drunk Courtney, crazy Courtney, because when she get drunk, she just get flirty with Brandon all the time. And that's exactly what happened. You got them. It felt like a scene out of Insecure. Remember on, I think it was season 1. Yes, it was. Season 1 when Molly was dating Jared, okay, who worked at Hertz, and he just finished high school. He didn't go to college, and she brought him around her college educated friends and, the different conversations, and she was kind of embarrassed to have him there a little bit. It felt like that situation because you got one friend talking about, Howard Business School, and my dad did this and donated, so therefore I'm a shoot in, my dorm is already ready, and then talking about all this other stuff. And then you got Courtney just being drunk and belligerent, talking about, oh, we know that they talking about him being a cook, and it's almost belittling without knowing that they realizing that they're belittling him, calling him a cook instead of a chef. He didn't want Jerrica to mention about the competition that he was in, but when she did, dude called him a cook, and he was like, "I'm a chef, okay? It ain't about the money. It's about, the experience and the passion that you put up in there." And it was like, we know she don't want you for your money or whatever. It's always that one drunk bitch that just take it above and beyond, that just don't need to be drinking because they can't hold. They just spread everything, okay? You don't tell her shit, because once she get drunk, he or she, they just start spilling everything, and that is exactly what fucking happened. Oh, she wants you because you a good young thug dick, okay? And at this point, she's spilling out there talking about some, she working with the pastor, she giving the pastor this money, and then she getting all this money for this commission, and she'll be able to pay for all of us and all this shit. So we know she don't want you for the money, bitch. She wants you for that good young thug dick, okay? And he was like, oh, for real? For real? Well, you can get the fuck up out my house because I'm a thug, right? I would have took offense to that shit too, because there are, within our own community, we got issues, and I love the fact, this is one of the facts that I love about this show, because they put in the different issues that we have within our own community, that we have, that the outside world also gives to us, and we do it to each other, okay? We have judgment from people of other races, other color, other nationalities and culture that judge us, and we also judging each other using those same judgment on our own selves, within our own community. We have those elitist blacks that look down on the middle class blacks, or the poverty stricken blacks, or the ghetto blacks, you know what I'm saying? And excuse me, if you're not college educated, if you only have a high school diploma or GED, and you don't work this certain type of job, you're looked down upon, and you're a thug and all this stuff. And we have some black people that judge other black folks like that. And we see that with Miss Brown, okay? Those people. We see that with what they just called him, and it's like they do it, and it's a difference between the way it's done. Sometimes it's done subtle, and sometimes it's very direct, okay? And I love the fact that they show both of that. Miss Brown is so direct with her shit. She ain't trying to hide it. There, Jerrica and her friends is subtle. It's subtle. It's that classism, that elitism. It's all coming out. And of course, I would get pissed off too, because you may not think that you offended me, but you offended me, and you're not catching yourself, and you're not reading the room and reading my body language. He told them to get the fuck out. So Jerrica and him get into a argument over it, because earlier what they were talking about, he did tell him about Jerrica about maybe going and talking to Mr. Perry, and she was calling him a slick and I'm a schemer and all this stuff, and he's shady the way that he came to one of her parents' friends trying to buy their property with $100 bills, cash, millions of dollars and stuff like that, and not really to fuck with him, but yet you fucking around with this sleazy pastor who's trying to get money out of you. So it's like how you're contradicting yourself at this point. You're being very hypocritical. And so they get into it. He was wondering whether or not she was gonna come to the aftertaste. Emmitt, of course, was there. Imagine Emmitt sleeping up in his we'll get to that in a second. So they get to the aftertaste, and this is where, mind you, before they get to the aftertaste final, Brandon goes over to his stepdaddy house, okay? Which is his mom's house, and telling him what's going on and the way that he's feeling about the whole competition thing and how he feel like the thing is rigged or whatever. And it was like, you feel like somebody giving you a leg up. If some people need a leg up, and there's nothing wrong with a leg up. Ain't nothing wrong with a leg up when it's done correctly, okay? Not when it's literally rigged so that somebody else can do it, get it, and that's what was going on. I truly believe that's what was going on. So they get to the aftertaste and they go to the finalists, and that's when Dan said, "No, bitch, you really think that he trying to do all this stuff to I got somebody in my pocket?" No, they put you into this competition for affirmative action because they need to have a black face, okay? And it kind of made sense because they not only chose a black face, a black person, they chose a woman as well. So they trying to cover all bases, okay? They got a person of color, they got a woman, and then they got a white man. What else do they need, okay? And so, of course, they wanted them to make a food that fits their style. And when they opened up the thing, his thing said neo soul. I was like, there you go. And so he doing his thing, and of course he doesn't win. Dan wins. He over there taking pictures and stuff for the competition, and the news and all that shit. He go over there, Brandon goes over there, takes his food, and realizes that Dan stole his recipe. And he was like, "You work for me," and all this stuff. I said, "I work for you, but the bitch, you took my shit, okay? And you a fucking fraud." So at this point, he goes over to Mr. Perry's, and he was just telling him, "I'm just tired at this point. It's like I feel like giving up. I'm trying to get to where I need to go." And dude was just so eager to say, "Yeah, I wish I had somebody like me to talk to and all this stuff, and I'll give you $10,000 to invest in you and all this shit." And Brandon fucked up. You want to know where Brandon fucked up at? Brandon asked no questions. He didn't ask, "Why are you doing this?" He didn't ask, "What is the stipulations?" He didn't ask, "What's the catch?" He didn't ask to get this shit in writing. He didn't ask to get it notarized. He didn't ask to get a contract to be drawn up and some. He didn't ask nothing. He shook that man's hand and left. I said, "No, Brandon, you fucking yourself right now, and not in a good way, okay?" So we gonna see how that goes next week when Perry bringing all them trucks and stuff in there for him, trying to upgrade them, and then Tucson looking at them. Oh man, he finna get caught up. I really don't want him to go down. This is how innocent. And then he gets on the phone with old dude that was in jail, because remember he said, "Throw Tucson a fish." Brandon, "What's the fish?" He said, "We got the fish." I said, ain't this about a bitch? That's fucked up. And guess who gonna be getting looked at? Brandon. And that's exactly what we saw. Moving on from that, Emmitt and his whole thing with his baby mamas. He trying to figure that whole thing out. His daddy, he left. He was sleeping up in the food truck. He left because he was tired of his daddy. And, the daddy talked about something, "You want the bills paid. Bills don't pay themselves," and all that stuff. And, he was talking about how he going to be there for his kids. He was like, either you want to tell them that, you ain't got no job, or you can continue doing this shit underhanded that you're doing, because you technically getting paid underhanded and all this shit. So he wind up sitting the baby mamas down and trying to talk to them. And at first it was going well because they had cleaned up. But then all of a sudden the shit went left because Tiffany changed up on their ass and was like, "Nah, bitch, I like the arrangement the way that it was." Okay. So he left, but then he came back and gave them each $400. He sells some of his sneakers or whatever, and he gonna say he gonna file unemployment, trying to get some money. He told them about the food truck and all that shit. So he trying to work out his little situation. Moving on from that, we got this whole thing with Ronnie. Ronnie is trying to get the house together because Ethel was coming home. Jada was like, you need to get some money so that you can buy her a new TV because you know she ain't gonna be here for missing her judge shows and all this stuff. And so it's this realtor dude that needs the house next door across the street or whatever to be cleared out so that because they're about to sell it. And so he looking for somebody to do it. Maybe you can get a couple of $100 from that if you do that. And so he was talking to the realtor, told him whatever you find that you want, you can keep. And he was like, this house used to be the best mowed lawn and all this stuff. They was like, what happened to it? Something happened to the daddy. They had to go back down south, and the kids just decided because I think the daddy got sick. They just decided to go ahead and sell the house finally, and they just took whatever they wanted, whatever they needed at that moment. And so he was going through the house and he found some pictures and he found, a letter to somebody named Jackie. Bitch, when I seen the pictures of the kids, it was 3 boys with their shirts off. And then that little flashback, little Ronnie looking into the window or whatever, and then dude coming over, the one that was about to hit on Jason, okay, grabbed up on Jason when he was like, don't touch my son. Him, he was like, you don't go peeking, you might find something that you don't want to see. You're not supposed to see and some shit like that. Bitch, that gave me creepy vibes. I said, don't tell me he was touching him and he had a repressed memory. Oh my God, don't tell me that he did that. No. And come to find out, whatever was in that letter was deep. They never showed us until the end. And Ethel comes home. Jada finds out that Ronnie stopped working over there, and she was trying to figure out why he getting upset with her. Just leave it alone. I was like, calm the fuck down, bitch, because I gave you a goddamn opportunity and you fucked it up. At least give me an explanation. But he eventually does. And he takes her over there to the house and basically kind of find out it wasn't no molestation or anything like that. What was going on was that old dude was his daddy. Okay, and he was fucking around with his mama. I was like, damn, that's fucked up, and he had a flashback to that time when he was after that incident with Jason when he was younger, when he first came back from the army, and he was sitting in that car looking in the chair, looking out the window, playing like he had a gun to shoot him or whatever. He had went out there and put some paint on his lawn because that's what he cared about, his whole lawn, and I was like, that's crazy. But you want to know what's really crazy? This shit with motherfucking Keisha. The episode starts off with Keisha running, okay? She running around the neighborhood getting her miles in. Everybody used to her saying, hey girl, you right on time. You do that shit, bitch. She goes to a little field house after she finished, girl. And she getting dolled up and shit, fixing her hair and everything. And she gets into this car. I said, this is a cute car. This is a little Benzo. Okay. I said, it's a Benzo? No, it comes to find out. Little Kevin said, that's a BMW. I was like, oh, okay. And dude was in there, and it's an older guy. I said, bitch, is you drinking? What is you doing? You fucking around with an old thug nigga? See, that stereotype, because we saw a black man in a nice car with a class ring. I said, bitch, the class ring gave it away, and I did not realize that. I just got that. Bitch, girl, they kissed. I said, ain't nothing good gonna happen. You with an older man, Keisha, what are you doing? You know how I used to be up in the hood. Don't even fucking lie. Some of these young girls, teenage girls, whatever, used to go with the neighborhood drug dealer or that nigga of the neighborhood. They used to be rolling around here and some shit. You know how I used to go. But anyway, she over there sneaking into the house. Kevin like, I can't keep on doing this because I don't want to get caught up in all this stuff and I don't want you to get caught. He was like, who was you with anyway? I was with Emmitt. You was with Emmitt. Since when Emmitt drives a BMW? Girl, boy, shut your mouth up. Here, I got Emmitt to get you these shoes or whatever. And that shut him up right then and there. Girl, next thing you know, at the end of the episode, end of her scenes, and this what had me like, bitch, shit is about to get fucked up, okay? Keisha finna get herself in some goddamn trouble, and the teacher is about to get fired, because that was her motherfucking track coach. She up here texting him while they in practice, bitch. He right there. She right there talking to her girls about who fine and who can get it. Jerrica, Chance the Rapper. I said, oh my goodness, you are fucking the goddamn teacher. Like, you don't do shit like that. Oh, it's a mess. But this is a cute episode. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about it. And I will see you guys later. Peace.